Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Connor, your YouTube fisherman, back here with another video for you. I have two of my favorite kayaks. I have my new kayak, Old Town Sportsman PDL 106, and of course, good old my first kayak, Old Town Sportsman Autopilot 120. Since I have them both, I'm gonna go ahead and compare them for you guys. Cons, pros, and then you guys decide which one to buy and which one suits you better. Obviously, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, and it's your preference. But I'm gonna go over with you which ones are the pluses, which ones are the minuses for both kayaks, and at the end you decide which one to purchase. So without a further ado, let's get into the video. I'm gonna start with the Autopilot, and as you guys know, I have this kayak almost 3 years now, and I love it. It's incredible machine. If you're serious about fishing, this is the kayak you should be getting for sure. Yes, couple minuses, right? Let's start with that. It's heavy, definitely heavy, 152 pounds, and it makes it very hard to carry around. So you have to have a car top. It's gonna be hard. So I have a truck, it makes it much easier. I open the tailgate, push it right in at the ramp, and pull it up into the tailgate when I'm done from the ramp. Of course, I have my cart as well. I use that, and that works perfect. If you want to haul it from A to B, you have to have a cart, and that's the only way you're gonna carry it. Obviously a trailer as well. You have to get a trailer if you don't want to handle this big weight. And the second minus, you know, it's one of the pluses as well. It's the Autopilot Minn Kota iPilot technology motor. I love that trolley motor, right? It makes it so nice that you could actually go ahead and go press the button. It has the remote control in your hand. You do all that you need to do, and it works perfect. But one of the minuses, it slows you down, especially when you hit the current, waves, and all of a sudden you're going 2.7 miles an hour instead of going 3.7 miles an hour, which is really, I'm getting the max if I'm going with the current. So that's one of the downfalls of the Autopilot. I wish it would be faster, but it's not. The second negative, actually the third one, would be the battery, right? The battery is nice to have. It goes under the seat. I have the 100 amp lithium battery, and I tell you guys, that's the only way to go. Do not buy lead acid battery. Telling you right now, if you plan on spending $4,000 some on this kayak, don't go cheap by buying a cheap lead acid battery. Try to save money. It's heavy, it doesn't last long, it will leave you stranded middle of the water, I guarantee you. So do not buy lead acid, buy lithium battery, 100%. So I have that here. It's good, right? You could go all day, but if something happens, everything's electrical, right? So you got your connections, and that's my fourth negative on this kayak. It's gonna come to, you run out of battery, you're screwed. There's nothing you could do. You gotta pedal. Literally, this heavy sucker, 152 pounds, you're, let's say, average 200 pounds, plus your stuff that you put, coolers, whatnot, and you're looking at, my God, almost 500 pounds, 400 to 500 pounds. You're gonna be pedaling manually. And if you're out there on the water with the current and the waves, you're screwed. And my next one, negative, is definitely the connection points. After a year, you know, it's really good. The connections, because this thing, the door, it kind of jams the cable. If you see, you plug it in and then just kind of kinks it, you know. The spring right here, it puts a weight on it. It keeps moving, and then eventually, if you keep fishing a lot, these connections, you're gonna be disconnected from the motor while you're in the water. You're gonna get the message saying no motor found, and then you're like, oh, what's going on? It is your connections. These are cheaply made, these connection points, the pins, and I highly recommend you, if you come into a year, definitely get a new set. I would suggest that you do this before the manufacturer warranty 1 year expires, so you could get the cable connections for here and for the battery here, right there. It comes with the battery box as well. You could get those all replaced through Old Town, and that way you cover under warranty before the year ends. That's my recommendation. I highly recommend that to you guys. If not, the second option, you could upgrade them with the Minn Kota cables, connections. They have them all over the internet, Amazon, whatnot, and they're so much sturdier and powerful, so you won't be stranded in the water. And that brings to my other point. It's again with the Minn Kota, this is not a brushless motor. So what happens is with the Minn Kota iPilot trolley motor, when you guys actually buy this, after certain time that you're using this kayak, you're gonna see the speed drastically getting lower and lower because it's not brushless motor. All the brushes inside the motor, they get worn out, and your speed, I started from 4.3 when I first purchased it. 4.3, I went down to 3.7, and that's a drastic, slow down. So it makes a difference while you're out there on the water, especially with the current, wave, whatnot, open water. You're going like a turtle, so that's one of the negatives that I would definitely say on the Minn Kota. But the good news, they did come out with the Minn Kota brushless motor this year, so I believe we're gonna see that on the autopilots or the newer kayaks starting 2025 manufacturing with the Old Town. They're gonna have some brushless motors on them, so you'll have your speed the same way as you purchased it like the first day, even after a year. So that's a good news. Stay tuned for that. That's what I think is gonna happen. So, but those are the negatives, and some positives obviously on the autopilot. Since I have it for years and years, this is the best kayak, guys. It's sturdy, it's big, 12.5 feet. You could get on any water. It's super stable. I stand up on it and fish. And one of the best things I love, if you're a serious fishing person, you could get up, stand up, have the remote in your hand, and just fish all day. You could troll, do whatever, feet free, hand free. You control everything through the remote. And I have it here on the dry storage. I keep that. As you can see, that's the remote, iPilot remote. And it has so many features, guys, amazing. One of the best features of this trolling motor is the spot lock technology. Press of a button on the anchor button, it locks your location through GPS, and as a play of 5 meters, you kind of move left to right, and then finds its position, gets back to it, but it makes you stay in your location and fish. If you have a sweet spot and you have a honey hole, that's it. You'll be fishing there, standing up, or trolling standing up with no problem. Hands free, feet free. The best experience when it comes to fishing. So I highly recommend you guys purchase it if you're a serious fisherman. Again, like I told you, stable, and it's bigger, sturdier. Bigger makes it wider. Look at that, 37-inch deck. Look at it in front of you. How wide and how long is this? Lots of real estate. Feet, get up, even walk around, turn around. Amazing. I love this. And look at the tank well. Tank well is huge. If you compare to the PDL 106, it's narrower and smaller. So your cooler, let me show you. Let me move my stuff. That's a regular cooler, right? So I'm gonna put that here just for now. You could keep the cooler right there. That's what I do. Nice and straight. You don't have to do it sideways. And look at all that real estate. I could fit so much more stuff right there. But here, you cannot really do that unless you remove the rod holders from there. Then it will fit. So I kind of have to put it like tilted, and then it fits. And then you have not much space left after you remove the rudder. So that's one of the big advantages of the autopilot. Lots of room, sturdy and stable. So I highly recommend this kayak to everybody that seriously fishes. So this is the Autopilot. And now let's get back to the Old Town Sportsman PDL 106. It's one of my new kayaks. I purchased this kayak for my clients. You know, as you guys know, I started my own fishing charter business. I do beach, jetty, pier, and kayak fishing charters. So if you guys want to go out fishing, let me know. I'll be your fishing guide. You guys, guarantee you're gonna have a blast when you're fishing with me. We're gonna have so much fun, catch fish. So I figure, you know, if some people want to go kayak fishing, but they do not own a kayak. So I said, you know, to myself, what's the easiest kayak to purchase so my clients, somebody that never kayaked before or doesn't have a kayak, get a much easier experience, easy to control, easy to handle, lighter, smaller. And I come up with this idea. Just like a bicycle, you pedal, is the propeller, bicycle, forward, reverse, forward, reverse, just like a bicycle. That is the easiest way for anybody to get into a kayak fishing, and that's why I purchased this. Only 77 pounds, makes it so much lighter than the Autopilot, obviously. And then it's only 10.6 feet, much smaller. I put them exactly the same length right here. You can see, look at that. So this is how much longer the Autopilot is. So as you guys know, I just want to show you that. Seat is super comfortable, has a little storage underneath as well, mesh. Autopilot Autopilot seat doesn't have that. I don't know why, but he's right here. You adjust it through the knobs, you pull it back and forward. And this is my position. I'm 6 feet tall, I'm 200 pounds, and still a lot of real estate. As you sit right here, you put your feet, deploy your PDL drive. Let me do that too. There's a little spring load here, just to show you, right here. So you basically put it there. It's nice and flat. You have a dry storage here too. It's so much more convenient in my opinion. And when you're out there fishing, you need something like that sometimes, you know, easy to get away, much faster too, if you guys think about it, because I actually went up to 4.7 miles an hour, almost 5 miles an hour with this pedaling, versus Autopilot, just the motor itself, 3.7 miles an hour. So 1 mile faster, 1 mile per hour faster than the Autopilot. So it's a big advantage if you happen to get away from a storm, you get away from anything that's coming, you just want to be zipping through. This is it. This is the kayak to purchase, because the Autopilot is going to slow you down. You're definitely not getting away from a coming up storm. You're in Florida, they just pop up out of nowhere. So that's one of the bad things. And if you guys remember, I had one of my videos, I got caught in a storm because I couldn't go any faster, and I felt the cold front. There was nothing, beautiful day, you know, it was summertime. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is this cold coming from? And next thing I know, storm is moving in, and nothing was showing on the radar. And man, I tried to get back, but I couldn't. It was only 2.7 miles an hour going, so I got caught. I'll link the video for you guys up here so you can watch that. It was crazy. But again, I love the fact that how Autopilot handled that storm. I was having crazy white caps, crazy waves coming over 3-4 feet, and it handled like a champ because it's so sturdy. You'll be so much safer on the Autopilot than any other fishing kayak, guarantee. So that's one of the good things about the Autopilot too. But again, for my clients, for anybody looking for a new kayak, it's definitely much better to purchase the PDL 106 or PDL 120. And one other thing is $24.99 PDL 106 versus $4,400, almost double the price on the Autopilot. So if you don't have the money, definitely purchase this, guys. I already went on a trip on Port Canaveral with current, boats, traffic, everything. Same thing. The bottom, look at that. It's the dual bottom, so I love that. And nice gunnels, just like the Autopilot, so it's super stable. I love that. So You will be nice and secure as well. When the wave hits you, both waves comes in nice and sturdy, just like the Autopilot. It's just smaller. And one good thing about this thing too, obviously, you're just fishing out there and paddling, and you don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to worry about running out of battery. You don't have to worry about motor cutting off or cable connections or nothing like that. So that's under plus. What are the negatives for the PDL 106? Smaller, obviously. You're not gonna fit as much stuff as the Autopilot. You don't have real estate in the front. Second thing, pedal. You have to manually pedal this thing. And let me tell you guys, I went on that trip for Canaveral. God, man, I was so spoiled. I realized how much I was spoiled with my Autopilot. I literally had to manually do everything. You know, I was looking for a remote. You know, it's like a muscle memory. I was going to my chest because I hang it from my chest. I was like, what the hell, where's the remote? And I don't have the remote. And it was crazy. So everything was manual. And one of the negatives is, since it's all manual, if you have a problem, like I had a knee problem, you know, I've been refereeing a lot, so I felt my knee hurting. I'm like, man, what do you do if you get a backache, back pain, something, injury, hamstring, knee? You're screwed. You cannot go fishing. That's unfortunate. You know, you get stuck at home because it's all manual. But good old Autopilot, press a button on your remote, that's it. No effort. You just working your fingers. So that's one of the negatives on this. You know, personally, you have to manually do this. And another negative, I would say, it just, if you're a serious fisherman, this is not it. Like, this is not an all day going out fishing. You'll be tired pedaling this left and right. So that's why I love the fact that they actually come up with, between those two, smart idea with the E-PDL plus 132 big water. And that's the really good innovation by Old Town. You have the pedal, manually pedal, pedal assist, motor assist, I should say. That's the second option. So it kind of helps you, much easier to pedal once you press the buttons on the 5-speed. And the third option is fully motorized. And again, goes up to 5-speed. And you just fully motorized. You're not pedaling at all. You're on that motor. So they come out with the both of best worlds, in my opinion, with the E-PDL. So if you guys haven't seen that, I'll go ahead and link the video for you too. I went to ICAST this year. I tested with Ryan Lilly, and it was amazing, man. What a feeling. That thing goes 6 miles an hour. 6 miles an hour, fully motorized, hands-free, feet-free, just on cruise control. And it was an amazing feeling after my Autopilot, because my Autopilot 3.7 miles an hour max right now. I was like, holy crap, we're cruising. So check that video out. I'm gonna link it here. That's amazing. I think that's the best of both worlds. If I had to buy a third kayak for my fleet, for my charter business, I would definitely buy the E-PDL and just add it to my fleet, definitely. And it'll be perfect combination of 3 Old Town kayaks: Autopilot, PDL drive, and the E-PDL plus big water. So stay tuned for that. It might happen, you know, let's see. But that thing is expensive, so we'll see how it goes. But that's it, guys. So far, these are the 2 comparisons, and you guys see it. You see my experience, and at the end of the day, you decide what you like. So you make the decision. But my personal opinion, if you ask me, once you go to Autopilot, you cannot go back. Definitely not. I cannot go back. I used this twice already, and let me tell you, I'm spoiled again. I cannot do manual pedaling all day while I'm fishing, because I fish sometimes 10 hours a day. I fish every week, sometimes more, twice a week. So there's no way I could do that, because I referee as a full-time job. I run a lot, I'm very active, and I just want to chill when I'm fishing, put on Autopilot, put on all the options that the Minn Kota remote has. Like, for example, it has the cruise control option. It has the north direct option. So if I hit the north option on the Autopilot, it just goes straight. If it's nice and open, clear water, I know there's nothing in front of me, I could tie my lures, I could eat my lunch. I don't have to worry about drifting, nothing. It's so many advantages of that Autopilot. But again, it's up to you. That's my choice. I would pick the Autopilot. I have to see the E-PDL first, you know, have it to compare. But between E-PDL Plus and the Autopilot, I would still pick the Autopilot because of the fact that only one important fact, that is the spot lock. Spot lock technology is unbelievable. Press of a button, I'm locked, I'm anchored. I don't have to worry about drifting. I don't have to worry about dropping an anchor. None of that stuff. So that will be my ultimate choice when it comes to all three of those. I would definitely pick the Old Town Autopilot 120. Thanks for watching. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next video. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody. Tight line.